You look at the guy who barely graduated high school, the guy who cannot write a coherent email, who does not understand macroeconomic theory, and who has never read a single book on financial psychology. You look at him and you realize he is driving a $200,000 Porsche, living in a $5 million house, and completely ignoring the price tags on his life. Your immediate biological response is disgust. You tell yourself he got lucky. You tell yourself his business is a scam. You tell yourself that you are morally and intellectually superior to him. But the clinical, undeniable truth is this: he is rich and you are broke. Your massive intellect, your college degrees, and your sophisticated vocabulary are not making you wealthy. They are acting as a psychological shield to protect your fragile ego from the humiliating reality that you are too afraid to execute. In the next few minutes, we are going to launch a direct attack on the middle-class ego. We are going to dismantle the illusion of intellectual superiority and expose exactly why highly educated, highly intelligent people consistently trap themselves in permanent poverty. You will discover the dark psychology behind the useful IQ versus the useless IQ. We will break down the biological phenomenon of cognitive dissonance and why your brain actively hates the rich to protect your own insecurities. And you will see the exact ruthless execution model that idiots use to extract millions of dollars from the market while the smartest people in the room argue over pennies. Stop defending your ego for a second and listen carefully. Your arrogance is actively bankrupting you. To understand why intelligent people stay poor, you have to look at how your brain was systematically domesticated. From the age of 5, you were placed into an academic system that rewarded a very specific, highly artificial type of intelligence. You were handed a syllabus. You were told to memorize the data. You were given a test. If you avoided making any mistakes, you were rewarded with an A+ and the approval of the authority figure. You were biologically conditioned to believe that perfect preparation and flawless logic are the exact keys to success. You brought this exact same psychological framework into the real world, and it is mathematically destroying you. The open market is not a classroom. The free market does not care about your grade point average. It does not care how beautifully written your business plan is. It does not care if your logic is flawless. The market is a chaotic, brutal, unforgiving environment that only rewards one thing: asymmetric execution. The highly intelligent person looks at a business opportunity and immediately spots 47 reasons why it will fail. Their hyperactive prefrontal cortex runs a massive risk assessment simulation, detects the possibility of humiliation, and triggers paralysis. They say, "This is too risky. The market is saturated. The unit economics do not make sense." They sit on the sidelines feeling incredibly smart for avoiding a trap. The power of the ignorant executor. Now look at the individual you consider an idiot. This person does not possess the intellectual capacity to overanalyze the market. They do not know what an economic mode is. They do not understand the statistical probability of failure. They just see a product, they see a buyer, and they aggressively launch the offer. They step into the arena completely blind to the risks. They make embarrassing public mistakes. Their product is ugly. Their marketing is deeply flawed. Their website is broken. The intellectual sits safely in the bleachers laughing at them, mocking their lack of sophistication. But the market does not punish the idiot for being unpolished. The market gives the idiot real-world data. The idiot takes a massive hit, loses $1,000, adjusts his strategy, and attacks again. While the genius is spending 6 months writing a perfectly optimized thesis on why the industry is flawed, the uneducated executor iterates 50 times, finds the profitable angle, and extracts $100,000 in pure cash flow. The idiot wins because speed and iteration completely butcher flawless theory. Useless IQ versus useful IQ. You must understand the brutal distinction between useless IQ and useful IQ. Useless IQ is the ability to memorize facts, debate philosophy, and pass standardized tests. It is the intelligence required to sound impressive at a dinner party. The corporate system absolutely loves useless IQ. If you have a massive, useless IQ but you lack courage, you are the perfect, highly optimized slave for the corporate machine. The system will buy your brilliant brain for a fixed, predictable salary of $80,000 a year. They will put you in a cubicle, give you a fancy title like Senior Director of Operations, and have you solve deeply complex logistical problems. You will generate $5 million in value for the company's equity holders, and you will receive your tiny, fixed ratio paycheck in return. You use your elite intellect to build their empire because you are biologically terrified to build your own. Useful IQ is entirely different. Useful IQ is street intelligence. It is the ability to read a room, negotiate a deal, handle extreme psychological pressure, and execute a plan when you only have 40% of the data. Useful IQ does not require a college degree. It requires extreme emotional resilience and a complete lack of shame. The people you look down on, the plumbers who build massive contracting empires, the dropouts who launch aggressive sales agencies. They possess useful IQ. They do not care about sounding smart. They only care about capturing leverage, the biology of cognitive dissonance. So why do you hate them? Why does it physically anger you when you see someone less educated than you achieving massive financial success? It comes down to a biological defense mechanism known as cognitive dissonance. Your entire identity is built on the belief that your intelligence makes you superior. You have sacrificed decades of your life to studying, reading, and following the rules. If a high school dropout builds a $10 million net worth while you struggle to pay your mortgage, it completely shatters your worldview. It means the rules you followed were a lie. It means your sacrifices were useless. It means you are not superior at all. The human ego cannot survive that level of psychological trauma. To protect you from completely breaking down, your brain invents a narrative to shield your identity. You tell yourself that the rich guy is unethical. You tell yourself that money is evil and that you are morally superior for being poor. You tell yourself that he just got lucky and that his wealth is illegitimate. This is the ultimate tragedy of the middle-class intellectual. You construct a massive, complex moral philosophy to justify your cowardice. You use your high intelligence to build a psychological fortress around your poverty. You would literally rather be right, broke, and miserable than admit you were wrong, change your beliefs, and become incredibly wealthy. Your ego is an anchor dragging you straight to the bottom of the ocean. The arrogance of the just world fallacy. This arrogance stems from the just world fallacy. Academic institutions teach you that the world is fair. If you put in the right inputs, you get the correct outputs. If you are the smartest person in the room, you deserve the most money. The market is not a meritocracy of intelligence. The market is a meritocracy of applied value. The market does not pay you for your potential. It does not pay you for your IQ score. It does not pay you because you read 50 books on behavioral economics. It only pays you for the friction you absorb and the solutions you provide to other people. If an uneducated guy figures out how to supply a desperately needed service to 10,000 people, the market will reward him with millions of dollars. The market does not check his grammar. The market does not ask for his diploma. It simply transfers the capital. If you refuse to provide real value because you think the work is beneath you or too simple for your massive brain, the market will ruthlessly starve you out. The cost of looking smart. Let us look at the clinical mathematics of protecting your ego. The intellectual wants to start a business, but because they are terrified of looking stupid in front of their peers, they spend 3 years building the perfect brand identity. They spend $50,000 on a pristine website. They hire consultants. They wait for the macroeconomic conditions to align perfectly. They demand absolute certainty. During those 3 years, the uneducated competitor launches a sloppy, ugly version of the exact same product. The competitor gets laughed at. Their peers mock them, but the competitor captures the market share. They build a customer base. They iterate. By the time the intellectual finally launches their perfect, flawless product, the market has already moved on. The intellectual launches to absolute silence. You are paying a massive, multi-million-dollar premium just to avoid looking foolish. You are prioritizing your social status in the herd over your absolute financial sovereignty. The people you are trying to impress, your coworkers, your family, your college friends, they do not care about you. They are too busy drowning in their own debt and fighting their own insecurities to care about your business plan. You are sacrificing your freedom to maintain an illusion of prestige for an audience of ghosts. The sovereign protocol of ego death. If you want to escape this trap, you must fundamentally destroy your current identity. You must commit psychological suicide. The person you are right now, the proud, arrogant, hyper-logical intellectual, cannot survive in the arena of wealth creation. You must murder your ego before the market murders your net worth. This is the ultimate protocol of the 1%. The elite do not care about looking smart. They care about being effective. They are entirely comfortable looking like absolute idiots in the short term to guarantee they look like absolute geniuses in the long term. You must decouple your self-worth from your intellect. You must learn to respect the uneducated executor. Stop looking for the flaw in their business model and start studying their speed of implementation. Stop reading books for the dopamine hit of feeling productive and start launching ugly, embarrassing systems into the real world. You have to embrace the humiliation of being a beginner. The first time you launch a project, it will fail. You will look stupid. Your sophisticated friends will whisper behind your back. Let them keep their synthetic status and their massive mortgages. Let them keep their corporate leashes. Their laughter is the exact friction required to build immunity to the crowd. When you no longer fear the judgment of the herd, you become completely untethered. You become extremely dangerous. Stop analyzing the trap and start breaking the bars. Your intelligence is an incredible weapon, but right now, you are using it to defend your own cage. Drop the diploma, drop the arrogance, stop demanding certainty in a universe that runs on chaos. If you want to understand the exact dark psychological frameworks that the elite use to manipulate the masses and how to weaponize your own mind for absolute sovereignty, hit the subscribe button. We do not deal in theory or academic philosophy. We deal in clinical, ruthless execution. The market does not care how smart you are. Your education is officially over. Your execution begins now. See you in the next protocol.